Howdy, guys. Attorney Walter Hnot. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave 5-star reviews. Now let's get right to the information. These are the types of evidence that will remove your disability benefits relatively quickly. And I wanted to go ahead and make a quick, top 5 kind of list so that people understand right off the bat these are the things that hurt you pretty much the most. They're like automatic withdrawals. We can do a much larger list. If you're interested in that, let me know. And then basically we'll go from there. All right. So here's the first one. The first grouping of evidence that would hurt your claim the most would be police reports or medical reports of narcotic drug abuse at a severe, marked, or extreme level. And what that means is that they then have to apply a materiality test to see if those drugs are essentially creating a scenario where they're making your impairments worse. And therefore, if you were to take away the drugs, your impairments wouldn't be as severe, and therefore you wouldn't be able to receive Social Security disability benefits. Another one would be going to jail or prison for more than 30 days. You do that, they're going to pull back your benefits anyways. But the bottom line is, when you're in jail, they tend to make a lot of evidence that's accessible pretty easily to the Social Security Administration that can be used against you as to your capabilities when it comes to walking, standing, pushing, pulling, being around other people, all that sorts of stuff. Okay. Next one, police reports or tickets outlining activities that are not consistent with your impairments. So just to kind of outline this real quick, police reports or tickets, they usually, are relatively short. They don't have a lot of detail, but the details they include are usually very, very harmful for Social Security beneficiaries, because they'll be like, okay, this person was able to walk from here to here. They were driving their car above the speed limit from here to here, or they were intending to go to this place, which is 3 hours away from here to here. They tend to have harmful information in them for Social Security recipients. There's another thing too, which is that you will put down in your SSA forms that you can or cannot do certain things. And as a result of not being able to do them, when you're then caught doing them by the police and it goes into a police report, it really, really creates conflicting evidence. Number 4, making statements of inabilities followed by actions of abilities. So there's all kinds of things that create reports nowadays, right? Could be a special camera on the highway, could be something where, a neighbor made a video of you, whatever. And then as a result of that, you said you couldn't do something, and then they get a video of you doing that thing, yada, yada, yada. There's always the argument available to you to say, well, I was on a good day, I was doing this, blah, blah, blah. And the main thing is, if you just keep going to medical treatment, you'll be okay. But the problem is, if the medical treatment continues to show that you have difficulty, like if you do something and you're in worse shape as a result of it, that's great proof, because you just prove that you can't do that as a job. However, if you're one of those who hasn't been to a doctor in forever and a day, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and you're claiming you can't do things, and then they get a report that you can do things or a video of you doing them, that obviously hurts. Okay. Having recent registrations for heavy equipment or rental of heavy equipment, not a good sign, not a good thing to have on the record. Recent registrations of heavy equipment or rental of heavy equipment without explanation, which they will require at the SSA as to why, creates a bit of a tricky situation, because obviously if you're disabled, using heavy equipment isn't usually in the card for most recipients. And most of you are thinking, well, that's because they're driving. No, that's because when you're in heavy equipment, you get bounced around a lot, even with those hydraulic seats. And it's just not good for your back. It's not good for your arms. It's just not good. Next one, having recent registrations of box trucks. Renting box trucks, recent registrations of box trucks. There's some areas where it's okay to have that, some areas where it's not okay, because that's great evidence to go ahead and say that you're doing some sort of moving business or whatever. Okay. Earning over SGA, being substantial gainful activity. If you earn over their magic number, then you get kicked off of benefits for that month. It's just that way. It's the same way for SSI as the same way for SSDI, okay, which is disability. Making a life-ending threat to a Social Security office, whether it's a personnel, a judge, whatever. If you make a life-ending threat, they usually find a way to kick you off of benefits. And if you make a life-ending threat before you're found disabled, you usually have to end that claim and then file a new claim, because they almost never approve them. I don't care how disabled you are, they almost never approve them at that point. Neighbors or case managers who make reports to, or in general that the SSA can obtain. So basically, neighbors are a big problem for a lot of disabled individuals, because the neighbors get jealous as to why you have money and they don't have money. And you get to stay home and pet your cat and watch Netflix, whereas they have to go to work all day and deal with people who are angry with them. So the bottom line is people get jealous, and that jealousy tends to boil over. Also, caseworkers always like to write down, along with therapy facilities, medical therapy, that you are improving, because otherwise, if you're not improving, why would the therapy place need to be retained going forward? So bottom line is caseworkers are always trying to say that you're getting better. What they're doing, saying, having you partake in is making you into that better working individual. Same thing with the therapy for the medical. Oh, couldn't do this rotation yesterday, but today can do all this, can climb Mount Everest, one of those kind of gigs. Okay. Having an unsuccessful CDR, continuing disability review. Obviously, you have one of those, they take away your benefits. The way it works is that if they're doing a continuing disability review and they find that you're no longer as severe as you need to be found disabled, they use the 8-step sequential process. And then at that point, boop, they kick you off the benefits. Your death. If you basically have somebody who doesn't like you and they submit to the SSA a fake notification that you died, that could also cut off your benefits. This is extremely rare. It has happened. Some people just hate other people and they play weird stuff like that. But the bottom line is your death or the submission of documentation for a fake death will end your benefits. Getting medical treatment that improves your medical condition obviously ends your, benefits. If you go from severe down to moderate, they will end your benefits. If you basically are now capable of doing some sort of job as a result of a surgery or medical image, MRI, X-ray shows that you can do something now, they'll end your benefits. Medical imaging that shows improvement is a very, very difficult thing, but if you are in that potential situation, you have to remember laying down flat, supine position, bottom line is that those images for backs tend to not look as bad as a seated MRI. So if you're in that situation, it's a back problem and you're like, oh, how am I going to show my back even worse? Go get a seated MRI. That's important. All right, guys, I'll catch you a little bit later. You have an absolutely wonderful day. We have done 3 videos, which is what I try to keep it to, because otherwise I get super tired and I actually have to work after this. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Please remember, like, subscribe, leave 5-star reviews, and I will catch you down the road. Take care of yourself and be good to you and be kind to you and just enjoy life. All right. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night. We'll go from there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.